Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I have a memory planning process for you. I am working in my big vertical memory planner from the Happy Planner. I printed out my photos here for the week of September 20th through the 26th, which is the first week of fall. A ton of photos. I print them at home. I will link the printer I use and the app I use to get them into this 2x3 size. And then I think I'm going to use this new set from the Paper Person. So I have been subscribed to the Paper Person for about a year. I just ended my subscription, so I think this is the last kit that I am receiving. I love their products. I just have a ton of products in my craft room. So, but this one is beautiful and I love that it's autumn based. And so I think I'm going to use this kit for this month. Look at this paper. Like, are you kidding me? How freaking cute. So excited to bust into this to do an autumn spread for this last full week of September. I will link everything that I end up using down below so you can check that out if you're interested. Otherwise, I'll put you guys on fast forward. Let's go. Okay, so the first thing I do on my memory planning spreads is to kind of plan out where the pictures are going to go. So I have all my pictures here. I usually like to have them at least close to the day that they actually occurred. This particular week was very heavy with pictures on the second half of the week and not so heavy on the first half of the week. So I'm going to have to adjust a few and shift them over to the sidebar just so I have room for them all. So you can see I'm kind of fiddling with things and figuring out where they go and how they should all fit in. And it's a little bit like working a Tetris puzzle, but it all fit in the end, so I can make them all kind of work. Again, looking a little crowded over on that side and lots of space open on the left side, but that's okay. It'll all work out in the end. Now I love these cut apart cards from the Paper Person shop. They are just so beautiful, and I really love the use of purple in this fall spread. I know that's probably not shocking. Purple is my favorite color. I like incorporating it when I can, and I just think it's such a fresh color to be included in this fall spread. So I'm going to cut these cards apart. It does have a beautiful pattern on the back side, and I'll end up using that on this spread as well, but I really did like most of these cards, and so I wanted to go ahead and have them cut ready to use. I decided that my focus this week would actually be this card that says home. A, I love the color, and B, it really sets the tone for the week because of course we spend a lot of time at our home. We have a lot of activities, but home is by far my favorite place to be, and so I'll nestle that card in there. It'll be a way to highlight a little bit of the journaling, and then I'm going to look for some other cards. I love this one, this green one, that can really bring out journaling as well, and then I find one that has all of these little homes on it, like a little neighborhood, and I decide I'm going to use that and layer a picture over the top of it of my daughter's soccer team. So now that I know where everything's going to be, all the main elements, I want to include this pumpkin paper because this may be the cutest fall paper that I have seen in a long time. So I'm going to just cut out some chunks of the paper to have over here on each corner. Now normally I rip paper. It's one of my favorite things to do, is to rip it and have that torn edge, but I really wanted to include as many pumpkins as possible. So I went ahead and just kind of did a little fussy cut around the pumpkins, and now I'm seeing where I can add a little bit more color. So this is the back of one of the 3x4 cards that I cut earlier. I'll use that to kind of serve as a mat for those two pictures of my craft room because I decorated my craft room for the fall. And now I'm going to use some of the other papers to mat a lot of the other photos. Again, this brings in just a little bit more color. I like to print my photos in color. I don't like to change the coloring of them, and so it can sometimes feel a little disjunct. For instance, all of these bright red uniforms on this page, the red doesn't really go. I find that matting helps bring those photos together just a little bit more so that it makes more sense in the spread. So I do like to mat most of my photos. I also like to mat them together. Those are pictures from church all the way on the right. So putting them together on one piece of paper kind of brings it together as in it's one event. Whenever I use a certain color paper on one side of the spread, I always make sure to repeat it on the other side. In this case, I'm using the front and back of this paper. So the back has this really pretty orange color with polka dot pattern. And so I'll use that on both sides of the spread. adding it over here with pictures from my parents visiting this particular week. We have a favorite restaurant that we go to right away when they come visit, so I definitely wanted to include those pictures. And then I noticed in just a bit that one of the pictures I had down wasn't matted, so I will end up adding some matting to the picture of myself in my first, or actually second, color guard judging gig of the season. All right, I'm going to speed this part of the video up a lot because this is just me using my adhesive tape glider to put all of these main elements down on the page. I do the planning with the photos and matting them and kind of getting them where I want, and then get everything down on the page before I start adding additional embellishments and journaling and things like that. So in general, in my memory planning, I do work from big to small, the biggest elements on the page all the way down to the smallest elements on the page, but I do keep in mind where I'm going to be able to add journaling, because that's a big part of memory keeping, is having your words telling the story. I absolutely fell in love with the stamp set that was released from the Paper Person shop this month, and it is so cute. It is all about home, and so there were some stamps that I'm going to be able to use a ton. One that said backyard hangouts. This one is all about home decor, and you can see I'm kind of just laying the stamps actually out where I think they're going to go. This is just a way that I can kind of plan, and then when I'm sure that that's where it will live, then I can actually stamp it down. So I'm looking, I love these circles too. This one says best seat in the house, which is perfect for a sports game, and then this one says back home, which was great because I had the opportunity to judge color guard at a place that I used to teach color guard, so it felt pretty good to have that there. And then a few more little pieces that I want to add in. I've got a full house, was perfect for having visitors in town. It's just fun to get to include these stamps. I love the versatility of stamps from the Paper Person shop. They are just wonderful, and they're really, really good for memory keeping. So even though I'm not going to do a subscription with them right now, I will still be looking at their stamps on a regular basis because I think that they are great. And investing in stamps is one of the best ways to invest in your crafting, because you can use them over and over. A really versatile stamp set you're going to get a lot of use out of, and it more than makes up for the cost. I am stamping using VersaFine Onyx black ink, and you can see with these clear stamps, all you have to do is put them on a clear acrylic block, and then you're able to see exactly where the stamping is happening. And then I use my stamp chamois over to the side to wipe off the stamp and clean it in between. Love, love, love using these stamps, and I'm actually going to stamp the two circle stamps that I had picked out onto a solid color paper. I'm going to choose a corner of this striped paper because I really like this purple. Again, love purple, so I'm going to bring that in to a couple different spots on the page. So this back home one, and then I will do the other circle stamp, which is best seat in the house. And I like also stamping on separate sheets of paper and cutting them out. There's just another way to get more use out of your stamps, because then you're kind of making your own ephemera pieces and you can customize color and things like that. I do also sometimes stamp in color, but I definitely find that VersaFine Onyx black ink, like stamping in black, is my for sure go-to. Okay, so I will get those small elements on the page, and now I'm going to take a look at the alpha stickers that came with the set this month. They are beautiful purple alphas, and I'm going to label over on the left side. I'm going to write out Gigi and Granddaddy. That's what my kiddos call my parents, and that was a big happening that week, so I like that I can really make their names nice and bold. These were super sticky alphas. Like, I struggled a little bit, but that makes me excited actually. So I struggled getting them off the paper, but I like that there was so much sticky on the back because I feel really confident that they're going to stay on the page. And I've had other alphas recently that I have used that feel like they're not actually going to stay on for very long, and I have felt the need to add additional adhesive, especially with my memory planner, because this is not going in a sheet protector. Like, it's going to be out in the open, which obviously is not always the best for documenting for the long term. But for me, the memory planner just works so well that I'm not actually super worried about how it holds up to the elements. I think it's going to be just fine, enough to preserve the memories for sure. We also received a set of number alphas this month, and I'm going to pull out the number 2 and put it over on the picture of myself judging, just to show that it was my second judging gig of the season. 2 of 5 are done, and 3 more weekends of color guard judging are in front of me. Okay, so I found this little phrase sheet so fun, full of fall phrases. I love, love, love adding these stickers to my memory planning spreads because it's just a chance to kind of sum up what's happening in the picture, and then I can add different details in the stories than I might otherwise. So I have new adventure with my daughter and her new soccer team, pumpkin spice and everything nice clustered over near my elements of decorating my craft room. Take me out to the ball game, how perfect for the picture of the baseball game. And then a few more I found, September days with pictures of our neighbors. It was just fun and feeling a little bit normal with the picture of judging. Since I did not get to judge at all last fall, it does feel nice and a little bit more normal to have the judging happening. Okay, sped this up a whole lot, but these are lines that I use to journal on. I fill in any white space with lines and then fill in tons of words, marking down all of the little stories. And I had kind of an odd space up near the picture of the soccer team, so I decided to fussy cut out a couple of pumpkins to fill in some of the spaces. I like for my memory planning spreads to be super full, team no white space as I like to call it, just because I usually have a lot to say and document. I want to be able to write down some fun details, and I struggle a little bit with where to put the second pumpkin. I switch it around, and eventually I find a place where it can all live. I'll adhere those down, and then I will take a little bit of time to fill in some of the journaling. This time I am recording my journaling. I did it right here instead of turning off the camera. I used a couple different color pens to highlight just some different things, some bigger overarching stories that I wanted to highlight. So black in some of these 3x4 cards, and then I use a dark yellow for the rest of the journaling. And I kind of liked switching out the colors this time. Once the journaling is done, then this memory planning spread will be done. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. I have linked supplies down below. Again, this whole set was from the Paper Person shop. I am not an affiliate of theirs, but I have been purchasing their subscription for about a year now. I really, really like this particular month especially, so it makes me a little sad that I've stopped the subscription, but I just have an overage of supplies right now. But make sure to go check them out. They have some really unique products. I want to give a huge shout out to my Scrappy YouTube members. Thank you so much for all of your support. If you are interested in finding out about some of the perks that you can receive as a Scrappy YouTube member, then you may click the join button or check the link in the description box below. All right, I hope that you have a fabulous day, and as always, keep it creative.